supply as it relates to health, because we have the bilharzia situation, and if you want to...
Yes, well, if we can talk about health, let me take you back to the beginning. When I started to practice, as I told you, my major practice was in the Eastern District, Dennery. I had to go to Dennery every Thursday, because that was the day for court. Sometimes I used to stay, was not married then, but that is not for the reason why I stayed in Miku. I had my farm up there. Every time I pass on the road, you see probably 2 or 3, 5 persons trekking the road to Dennery, from the Mabuya Valley to Dennery, with plastic flowers and a little box, no bigger than a shoebox, a coffin for a child. So, let's start again. Yeah, as I told you, I used to come from Miku or Dennery. Dennery going up, Dennery to court. Miku probably coming down. And invariably, you see this little group. The man will have a little box of white rum in his pocket, and he's carrying on his shoulder a little box, the size of a shoebox. The mother running beside him with some plastic flowers. A child going to be buried. Why? Water-borne diseases, dysentery, diarrhea, rampant in the Dennery Valley, perhaps elsewhere. But I'm telling you what I used to see. This is my own experience. So I decided, hell, I got to do something about that. And what was worse, in 1966, Maurice Mason, who I mentioned earlier, my best friend, representing the Dennery Valley, go to Dennery Riviera, drink water, and dies from typhoid fever. So what do? You have to do something about it. So I decided, really, they had what they call PHEU here, and the PHEU, they said they want to drill wells and, putting a little plaster over a big bobo. I decided that we have to do something. So when you came in, the only places that you used to have potable water was in the middle of castries, we call central castries. And there was a pipe going to Marsha, where everybody used to go, because at one time some people used to have horses there, and the horses had to drink water. So the only castries, and Veerfort sometimes, and Soufrière had always had ample supply of water. Now you had these are the only places with water, and the question of the infant mortality rate in Saint Lucia from waterborne diseases was one of the highest in the hemisphere. Probably only less than Haiti. We had typhoid, dysentery, diarrhea, bilharzia, you name it, waterborne diseases. So we decided to do something about it. And again, if you follow me, you see we are doing it outside of the civil establishment, because they are too slow to react. So we created first the the Central Water Authority, so that water, we could have water throughout. It's now called WASCO or WASA, whatever they call it now. Well, even in my time it became WASA because we added sewage, but it was CWA, the Central Water Authority, so that we have the question of provision for water in the towards Saint Lucia was centralized under one authority, the CWA, and we started to expand water throughout. Now, if you did not expand water, you couldn't have the development. First, water is health. You had to expand water. So we expanded water first in every major town, then in every major community. And look, if we didn't do that, with the banana industry, and the fertilizers, and the pesticides, and the nematicides, and the pollution of the rivers, you know what we would have? What a disaster we would have had on our hands. So all of this take careful planning and foresight. We expanded the water. They had, bilharzia was a major killer. We couldn't do it ourselves. And all of these things I'm telling you that we did in Saint Lucia, it was done in Saint Lucia. But we had a lot of help from other agencies and organizations. Again, let me give Hunter Francois the credit. Hunter went to a health conference somewhere, and he met with some people with the Rockefeller Foundation, and he introduced them here. And Rockefeller helped us to put water in the areas that were heavily infected, like the Mabuya Valley and the Cul-de-Sac Valley. Put water in those areas so that we can get the people out of the river, because generally it was the washing in the river, people getting attacked by the snails, getting into the intestines, and that's the end. So we had the Rockefeller to assist us. Now, it was standpipe in those days. Everybody, not everybody, the poor people went to the standpipe for their water. Now, and they used to have what they call the freeness, people go in public baths, etc. That is fine. I mean, that is how we grow. We grew up gradually. So we expanded water. Now, when the United Nations declared 1980 as the decade of the water, in 1980, Saint Lucia was one of the few developing countries that met the criteria, because we, as I said, we expanded water throughout the countryside, eliminated bilharzia, typhoid fever, you don't hear about it again, dysentery, and Saint Lucia now has the infant mortality rate, children who die before the 3 years. Saint Lucia is one of the lowest in the world, 17 per thousand, as the same as the United States or any other developed country. So there we are.
GIS, serving you better. GIS.